DevOps Shorts, DevOps Shorts, the show to listen to when your DevOps hurts. And even when you're going strong, it's short and sweet, so come along.
Hello, folks, and welcome to DevOps Shorts, the show where we invite wonderful human beings to have a lightning-fast conversation about devs, ops, and other mythical creatures. The show where each episode only lasts 15 minutes and we are focused on asking only 3 questions. So it's short and sweet. Why? Well, because if there is one thing we know, it's that great delivery comes in small batches. And our guest for today is Carlos Leon, an independent cloud native and automation consultant. Carlos is the link between your business and your technical people because he understands and speaks both languages. Hello, Carlos. How are you?
Hey, Anton. How is it going, man? Thanks for having me on the show. It's really nice to talk to you every time.
Yeah, same here, same here. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump straight into our 3 core questions.
All right.
And our first question is this: why do you love information technology? You see, I have this stupid assumption that you love what you do, and for me especially, it's not that clear, because for me, for a long time in my career, it was a kind of a love-hate relationship. So what I want to hear is your story. Why do you love doing this? What maybe you love less? When did this love relationship start? Etc., etc., etc. Tell us what you know and think.
All right. Well, the first time that I touched a computer was when I was 5, and I immediately loved it. I was like, "Wow, this is super dope!" And of course, it was a computer. I don't even know the specs, but it was running DOS. And I remember that this was in school, in primary school, and they taught us how to play with games. There was Pipe Dream, and there was, I don't know, Outrun, and blah blah blah. And for I'm a kid, so I'm at that moment I'm really engaged into the whole gaming stuff. But then we jump into Windows, and then we jump into an uncle of mine had a computer at home. We didn't have a computer at home, but my uncle did. And he had internet installed, and he was like, "Hey, come here, I want to show you this." And then he showed me that he was browsing the web and creating an email account. And then it's like, yeah, and then you can write to people and this and that. And at this point, I'm age 7, and I get super interested in the whole web thing. And that's when I wrote my first website using, I think it was Word 98 or something like that. And then I jumped from that into Front Page. And then when I was investigating about that, I discovered there was something called HTML, and there was something called JavaScript. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm learning HTML. So I picked up HTML at age 7, and I was really like, I ditched Front Page, and I just went straight into Notepad. No syntax highlighting, no indentation, nothing, just punching in all the tags and everything. And then I built my own website, which was a website for hosting games and all that. At age 11, I wrote the website for my school. I was the last year of primary school, and together with a friend, we built the website. And then there was like a school's convention to show how they were working with IT, and we presented the website. And I remember that I stored the demo of the website because we didn't have the website published anywhere, only internally. And I had the demo in a diskette. So it was our time to present. And I punched in the diskette, and I opened the website, and it's with frames, and the main page is working. So, okay, so here we go to the contact page, and then click, and boom, the website is broken. And so, okay, let's try another link. Boom. Everything was broken, nothing was working. Now, of course, that was my first real demo, And I was like, okay. But at that moment, I was really loving it, and I decided then that this is what I wanted to do for a living. I loved it from the very beginning, and after 20 years in IT, at that point, I reached a moment of, okay, I don't like this anymore. I hate it. I don't want to have to do anything with IT. That was a very dark moment in my career, but at some point, somehow it turned around, and now I'm again in love with IT, with everything that I do, because now I'm not doing so much the technological side of it, like I still do that probably like 80% of my time, but another 20% of my time I'm doing the human side of IT, and that's what changed the whole perspective that I have in IT, and that it brought the passion back to it. So it's really nice. That's why I love IT.
So the human side of IT is the base of your love, right?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. You're on time. We have 20 seconds left for this question, and let's go straight to the next one. So, what was your DevOps aha moment? In DevOps Handbook, each of the authors describes their DevOps aha moment, that situation in their life that made them realize that the way things work in IT sucks. But there's a better way. So, what was that moment for you? When did you realize that there is a better way of doing things, and that way is DevOps, and that way is the right fit for you?
Right. Okay. So I started hearing about DevOps maybe 5 years ago, I think, like, or maybe 7 years ago, something like that. But I started professionally working with DevOps only like 5 or 4 years ago, and the whole human side of things, yeah, sure. Like the DevOps is about sharing, it's about the knowledge culture, it's about being open about it touches more on the human side of things, and the whole process of delivering software rather than on the technological. And it became apparent that, sure, companies might have technical challenges, but those are really easy to fix. You know, like, okay, you throw in a couple of really great professional senior engineers and they will figure the whole thing out for you. And then it's done. But then when people took over projects, then suddenly things were not working. It's like, but we gave them the training. We taught them how this thing works, but they're coming with a different mentality, and that has nothing to do with technological thing, but it has to do with the way that they're used to work. And then I was like, okay, so there is something to the human side of things here that I have overlooked and that I should definitely look into. But the company that I was working for, it was more focused on, okay, we go in, we fix the project technologically, and then we just move on. It was fast paced, and there was no time to really develop the relationship with the humans to change the whole thing. Now, since I became an independent consultant, I had much more time in a whole engagement. So it was not anymore 3 months, but 6 months or 9 months or a year. Then you really get to develop relationship with the people around you, with the people that are involved in the project. So I was working with this team where there was an engineer who was really, really talented, but he was a solo player. He was a cowboy engineer. And even though he was able to pull really great tricks out of his head, more importantly, he was hurting the whole organization, not only the team where he was working at, but the whole organization. The work that he was doing was affecting around 60 people. And everybody was like, yeah, but he's just like that. He's just like that. You need to get used to it. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go in there. So I started talking to the guy, and he was like, at first he was really, really reticent. And he was like, no, leave me alone. And this is my thing. And you go do your thing. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to try to figure this guy out. And a few years ago, I had heard that people have different ways that they like to be approached. Some people are very textual. Some people are very verbal. Some people like the informality of a conversation. Some other people like a structured conversation. And I figured out that this guy liked to chat over like text, like we were sitting right next to each other, but he would love to just say, and over chat, he opened up a lot. And I understood why he was doing the things, the way that he was doing things. But then also I try to help him understand that the way that he was working was affecting people, because he had certain expectations, but he's not the only person with expectations in the team. Other people also have expectations. And he was like, okay, I can try to do things differently. And like, it took like 4 or 6 months for this guy to really turn around. And he obviously didn't turn around completely because it's just part of his personality, but at least he became aware of his surroundings and how his actions were affecting people. And that was like, okay. So it's not technological. It's about the human side of things. And like, we need to talk, we need to open, we need to really, connect with each other and try to make it better, but we need to talk. And I realized that we don't do that in IT, It's just like, oh, that is just the way that he is, and you need to get used to it. No, I'm like, no. And a beautiful moment that happened recently is that.
Here's your gong, Carl.
Oh, okay, too bad.
Lovely story. This is the way one should tell a story. This is the way one should answer questions. This is what I was expecting when I was, thinking, creating the show in my head. So
Okay.
I loved it. I loved
Nice.
Love the answer. Great story. And yeah, I'm certainly there with you. Figuring out people is the hard thing. Okay, let's go straight to the next questions. So what's next for DevOps and the IT industry as a whole? I love talking about future, me, but this is your chance to look into the future. I'm sure you have your thoughts when you can sleep late at night, trying to imagine what your life or our life will look like, I don't know, tomorrow when we go out of the lockdown, or maybe in 5, 10, 20 years. Go wild, tell us about, exciting technological innovations, about how we will be replaced by machines, whatever is there inside your wild, crazy head.
Nice. Okay. Yes. It's funny that you mentioned how we're going to be replaced by machines, because this is what people have been saying since the 60s. And it actually has happened already. It's funny because people are super afraid. Whenever you talk about automation, people are super afraid of losing their jobs. It's like, if you automate this, who is going to click that button if not me? And it's like, would you not rather be doing something exciting other than clicking a button to release to production? So the future to me looks very much automated. Like, we have it's the year 2050, we have automated the hell out of everything, and we don't need to touch computers. Everything is done with AI, and the only thing that we're doing in IT is support. We're doing setup to a very bare minimum. Like, okay, we need to bootstrap an account, so we need to punch in the credit card, and we need to punch in the whatever, and we need to create some authorizations with a click, click, click. For the rest, a system comes in, bootstrap the whole infrastructure, cross-cloud, of course. And so one day your infrastructure is in a cloud where things are really cheap, and as soon as prices start to go up, then your infrastructure gets migrated to a different infrastructure automatically, and everything happens with AI, because of course in the future everything is AI. That's the way that I see it. And the humans are only there to maybe for the small glitches, or to extend and help feed these AI mechanisms, which I really have no idea how the whole thing is going to work. But I believe that is going to be the future of how things are going to work in IT. There's no need for us to start to reinvent the wheel over and over again, if it is not for the sake of learning, of course. But otherwise, for production, we don't need to do that. We just let the robots do what they know how to do best, and we stay out of it. I think that's my vision for the future. I don't have anything else to give to you, man.
Okay, so that's when you finally will be able to go hang gliding morning till night, right?
Yes. Give it to me. I just want to go flying, man. So that's why I automate the hell out of everything. I'm an automation junkie.
Okay. Will we still be saying, why aren't you not working, you stupid machine, at that age, when machines become so smart?
Yeah, of course, machines are smarter than us, and that's why we don't understand why things work. We teach machines in a logical way, but we don't think in a logical way. We're not capable of thinking like a machine. We put too much emotion into it, and of course, as long as we keep on teaching machines, we're gonna screw it up. The moment that you touch a machine, you're not typing code. You're just creating bugs. That's what you're doing. Bugs that actually work, but eventually they're going to show up and act up, and you're going to be like, yeah, why are you not working? I think that we still will see that as long as we keep on touching those systems, we will still see that. The moment that the machines start writing the code, I think that's when you take the margin of error out of the equation.
Well, Carlos, we have exactly 10 seconds until the end of the show. And it was great fun chatting to you, as always. And here's our gong. Well, I enjoyed the conversation. immensely. I think this is the way somebody should be doing the DevOps shorts, because this is what the show is called. Fun talking to you as always.
It is a really fun format, man. I must tell you, I was like, how is this gonna go? But I'm very happy that you invited me to the show. Thank you so much, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what other people have to say about that. So keep up the good work and keep them rolling out.
Short and sweet. Thank you for listening, and watch out for new episodes of DevOps Shorts.